So welcome to part 1 of prepping for my bug show. Part 2 will be coming sometime later, maybe next week. If you like watching artists experiment, try new things, explore, consider subscribing, because I do a lot of that here, as you'll see coming up. This video is very experiment heavy. I want to let you know that in the next couple of clips, well, actually mostly the whole video, but particularly in the next couple of clips, you'll notice that I've got something going on with my lip. I was having a reaction. It is healed now, thank you, but it looked really bad, especially in the first couple of clips. So if that kind of thing bothers you, please move forward to this time. Just know it looks super bad in the first clip because I have an ointment on it. I am excited that there is a bug show that I would like to participate in. I don't do a lot of event type things right now, but this is one that I want to do and I'm super excited. I'll tell you more about it. But let's get out of the house and to Blick Art Materials. So what I want is, I'm gonna have to do a voiceover of this because there's music playing, but what I want is Aquabord, but I want it to have the back so that I can easily hang it. So I can either try Claybord and do watercolor on it, or I can buy any of this stuff and then put ground on it. Prices for your benefit, and I'm gonna go test these out at a nearby coffee shop. I also need to get a few light blue turquoise colors of gouache. I wanted to get 3 different colors, where there were 3 colors that I would like, that I know I want in my paintings, but I realized that I could get the 3rd color by mixing the 2, so I went with that. These gouache tubes are pretty expensive, and I use up gouache much faster than I use up watercolor. They didn't have what I needed, and it is absolutely pouring. I don't have a hat. It said 40% chance of rain. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't think about it. So now I'm gonna go to a coffee shop, get some mint tea, sit down, do a little research and see what my work, the project that I'm needing. I did decide the sizes basically that I want to do, which is good. That's a start. What I don't know is how to hang the board that I want to buy, so I'm gonna look into that, figure out a solution for that, go back to Blick and get what I need. I spent a little bit of time looking at the brushes, considering if I wanted to buy new ones that I didn't mind being destroyed by the kind of roughness of the Aquabord. Then I also checked out the Stay Wet palette that I've been meaning to get for the acrylic gouache that I still have never used because I didn't have a wet palette or Stay Wet palette. I tested the coffee shop, confirmed that I definitely prefer the Aquabord.
And then do you have a Blick card with us?
I do, yeah. So I went ahead and bought 4 11x14s, 1 for if I mess up, and 3 if everything goes well, just in case they don't have the ones with the back edge in stock online. The rest of the haul, then I decided to wash off the Claybord so that I could use it for more tests. I also was able to find the Aquabord 11x14 cradled panel on Blick's website. I'm glad that I can buy it online, but I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping to get started on it this weekend. But I guess that just means I'll have to do some preliminary work and use some of the panels that I did buy as test panels and play around. I'm actually gonna try the watercolor, I'm sorry, not obviously watercolor, but the salt and rubbing alcohol technique on the boards. I've never done that, so I'll play around with that and see if that creates like a nice effect on the board or if it's only works on paper or something, I don't know. But before I order, I have to decide, do I want to do an 8x12 or 11x14? I'm leaning towards the 11x14. Those are really big paintings, and that will be more work. Not necessarily a tremendous amount of work, but I'm just like wondering, like, we're gonna assume that the paintings don't sell, and if they don't sell, then I have to bring them home and store them. And storing something that's 11x14, 3 of them, is going to be more challenging than storing an 8x12. If I just thought it would sell, I guess I'd do the bigger one. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused, but I hate choosing these types of things. Let's see if we can get it to zoom in on some of those details. At first I thought, oh, it'd be better if it's smooth, but like I'm just having so much trouble working with this. It's gonna take me so long to develop like a good workflow. Here, I already have one, and I've been able to achieve some really interesting effects, and it'll really just be a matter of if I do it big enough. So what I like about this is that it's shiny, and it's a bug, and bugs are shiny, but if you do it big enough and you do the details, then I'm gonna seal it with wax, then it should be shiny. I'm noticing that the salt and rubbing alcohol effects are a lot less pronounced on the Aquabord and the Claybord, so I don't think I'm going to be using it going forward on this project. I've had some ideas about what I could do, and so going back to Blick twice in 1 week. Wow. Another problem that I need to solve is that I want to make these paintings a relief. I'm really not sure how to do it with watercolor. So I'm gonna buy a few different products, test them out, and see what works. I dye clothes and I was out of Garber salt, so I had to pick up some. Voila. All right. got quite a few things from Blick, and I am going to try to thicken the watercolor. This is to block the watercolor. So this is for sparkles. Two things might help my bugs be a little shinier with watercolor. I also got these masking fluid items. They are in a tube that I really hope seals well. I'm hoping that this will help me like scrape if the masking fluid gets stuck. The shape of this is very unique. Somebody was using this and their watercolor painting. I'm hoping that it is effective. More experimentation. Let's experiment some more. Okay, so the light's against me, but look how pretty and glowy it is here in Seattle. It's so nice. I had to share that with you. Light dimensional ground. I don't know what this means, but like I'm just gonna put a little bit down and hope that like it helps with the bugs. Or like I want to make a relief so that the bug is higher than the rest. So I'm gonna put it on top of these two things. This was my first time really working with a palette knife, and I found it extremely difficult to get the effects that I was looking for. I ended up watching a lot of cake videos, which you'll see in not this video, but the next one, where I'm trying to just like figure out how can I use this knife in a way that creates a smooth surface. It's been over 24 hours since I created some watercolor surfaces with the different watercolor grounds, and now I'm ready to test them out and see which ones are going to be doing what I'm wanting them to do. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 different grounds, and this is watercolor specific, and this is clay. This one's much more expensive than this one, so this is the one I want to work, but you know, whatever works. I'm pushing on this. This is like, it's like squishy. I think I prefer the texture of this one. This one's harder, but I'm usually someone who likes to paint on smooth, which is kind of one of my problems with this watercolor versus clay, but you know, it's really impossible to get a smooth wash with the clay. And you can get a lot smoother wash. Not that I'm not very good at smooth washes, so like you can't tell, but like you could get a smooth wash on the watercolor board. I'm having memory issues. I thought I remembered which ones were which, but I'm not sure, and I mislabeled them, and so I tried to erase, and this shows you a little bit of how it's not that easy to erase off this particular board or off the ground that I added. And I'm waiting to download the footage from my SD card so that I can see it bigger. I'm so glad I recorded this. Okay, so on the top is the, oh, no, I didn't get it wrong. I did remember. The one at the top is the light dimensional ground. I labeled it correctly. I feel super confused. It's just that it dried so much differently than, and I thought it would. Okay, all right, I had it right. This time it wasn't my memory. It's me being surprised by the results. No, I actually did get it wrong. The first one I got right, that's it. My very full desk today. I could probably put those things away. Let's do that. Give ourselves a little more space. Oh, and this from the package I opened. Oh, and, well, I need this. Don't need this. Okay, so let's clean this up. make this a little bit less chaotic for me. Working with the Aquapasto was really challenging. It was difficult to create a round mound like I'm trying to do on the bug's head right here. The Aquapasto would stick to the bottom of the palette and pull up, and I just couldn't figure out how to make it not do that at first. My inspiration to do a relief bug came from my annoyance at things not being accessible. Specifically to me, there's a lot of things that I find inaccessible because of food allergies or other issues. I really don't like the idea that my art isn't accessible to all. I know I can't make it perfect for everyone, but I would like to try if possible. I want to make some of my projects, if not all of them, more accessible. So I wanted to make this project more accessible for somebody with impaired vision. Inclusion's always been super important to me, but I started thinking about accessibility a little bit differently after I saw, I think it was an Instagram post, reel, short, by Molly Burke on how to make Instagram posts more like reader friendly. The I forgot what they're called, the blind reader apps. I feel embarrassed that I can't remember the name, but that's part of my disability, poor memory and lack of recall and that kind of thing. So I'm going to give myself some slack here. But on Instagram, I mostly post about art. And so at first, the first few seconds of watching this reel, I was like, oh, this doesn't apply to me. And then I thought, wait, no, we want to make everything accessible if we can. How could a blind person enjoy art, visual art? Of course they could, if you set things up for them so that they can. Okay, so then I started brainstorming and trying to think of ways, not necessarily just through social media, but holistically to make things more accessible. Okay, I think I'm done with all the experiments and I just need to wait for things to dry and then examine it and see if it's to my liking. I'm going to need to play around a little bit with I think this is going to be super challenging to use, the Aquapasto, because it's very thick and I'm not used to working with a thick medium, and there's only going to be certain parts of the bugs that I want raised, or at least with this particular medium that I'm using. Like, I guess I could do 3 large bugs, but I might need to buy another tube. It was like $20, so I mean, it's not necessarily something that you really need to be mindful about how you're using it, because actually, if I think about it, a teeny tiny watercolor tube is $15, or can be, but it lasts forever. But this pasto stuff, like you're thinking about it in volume. You're not mixing it with water necessarily. At least I didn't. I'm gonna check out and see what maybe other artists have done with it. I don't see the point of mixing it with water for the purposes that I have, which is to create a relief. So if I want to have the effect that I'm hoping for, I'm gonna need to probably use a lot. And since I want to do 3 separate paintings, if I wanted them all to be the whole bug to be relief, I'd need a lot of tubes. If I only want some to be relief, it's fine. Painting on top of it is possible, but seems slightly wonky. Like, so far what I would see is that it doesn't beat off, which is what I was worrying about, but maybe it kind of did. I'm trying to remember. That's the first experiment I did today. I'm gonna have to look back at the footage and see. So glad I'm recording this. I'm gonna have to look back at the footage to check and see if that's actually what happened or if I'm just misremembering. What fun we are having today. Making a big mess. All right, thank you all for sticking with me through all of my experiments, and I will see you in part 2.